Below freezing. So this is sticking this time. Haven't had much precip at all up to the north or down to the south, but this area will try to fill in through mid-morning as well. Where the roads are the worst basically extends to the southwest, right across the metro and extending up into eastern Oklahoma. It's not a wall of water. So like Brandon was mentioning, you get the precip to move through. It kind of winds down a little bit. It moves back in. And it's not ending. That's the problem. The back edge of this is still over southwestern Oklahoma, and this will continue, unfortunately, off and on for the next few hours. With temperatures as cold as they are, roads don't get any better. But you notice from Moore to Norman to downtown Oklahoma City, some light precip forming up, some light freezing rain. That's sleet coming up I-44, coming into Newcastle, back to Chickasha, Anadarko, and also want to mention the eastern sides of the metro, pockets of heavy freezing rain and sleet. See the lightning there? That is thunder, sleet. These are thunderstorms that are developing, but we are below freezing, so the precip that is falling is of the ice variety, unfortunately, but it gives us bursts of heavy sleet. And you saw in Hank's shot in 5 minutes earlier this morning at about 7:15, his roads went from dry and clear to completely sleet covered, and this continues basically from downtown Oklahoma City to the north is where we're getting the heaviest precip now, all the way back to Yukon, Mustang, back up to basically Richland, coming into Edmond. There's Brandon and Hank. Heavy cell now moving over Arcadia. That is a lot of lightning there. That's torrential rain and heavy sleet coming over Luther, now up towards Wellston. That's going to come into Kearney, Tryon, Agra, all going to get blanketed with this, and your roadways will become completely white in just a little bit. Light freezing rain firming up from Duncan to Comanche and kind of patchy back to Frederick, but you notice new showers starting to develop near Snyder, so this is not done making its way to the northeast. Freezing rain and sleet, it's developing now. It is happening. It's here between 9 and noon. It continues, might taper off as we get closer to lunchtime, but slick roads, that's going to be the possibility. The good thing is, as far as I know, we have not heard of any serious accidents as this has been ongoing for about the past 30-45 minutes or so, and that's good news. We want to keep it that way. That's why we're on, bringing you these updates so you know to slow down, don't get in too big of a hurry, and of course we'll check in with Hannah in just a minute. 17 degrees in downtown Oklahoma City, and you saw the shot there. I-40 near downtown is mostly dry. North winds 15 to 25. It feels like -1 in El Reno, -3 in Mustang, 6 in Norman, 5 in Edmond, 5 to 10 degrees below zero in western and northwestern Oklahoma. And here's the temperature for the rest of the day. Don't plan on a warm up, cloudy skies. We'll even have a chance for some patchy freezing drizzle this afternoon with temps in the low 20s and maximum wind chill about 10. So now through later today, this continues especially south and off towards the east. That's where the precip will move, and your roadways will become likely what we're seeing in the metro, sleet and ice covered at times. This afternoon, temps teens and 20s. That's all we're going to do for maximum temperatures. And this is precip wave number 1. Here's 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's heavier from Ada to Seminole, back down to Kiowa, Ardmore, and off into eastern Oklahoma. Patchy precip in the metro. We're dry late this evening, and most of the overnight hours, we're dry. That's a good thing. Then here comes the sleet and freezing rain with wave number 2 tomorrow morning. That rides up all across the state, quickly moves out though. And again, tomorrow afternoon and evening, we are mostly dry. So how much precip? It's not a major ice storm. It's a good thing getting that sleet mixing in. It cuts in on the ice that weighs down on the power lines and the tree limbs. But you get further to the southeast, I do think you'll see more freezing rain than sleet, and that could cause some power outages, some power bumps, not a major crippling ice storm, but enough that you will likely see some of these areas lose power for a while and could have some tree damage from Ardmore to Sulphur to Ada, back up to Henrietta, and then points to the southeast. It's more sleet. That's what we're seeing today. And when you add up this wave and tomorrow's wave, up to 1/2 inch of sleet, and some areas could pick up closer to 1 inch of sleet up near Tulsa. Some light snow mixing in. We're seeing some of that this morning, but this is not a major snowstorm. Okay, it's mainly the other type of precip. We got a little warm layer in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. That keeps it from being all snow, and it's just that mixed bag that continues this morning. This afternoon, some light freezing drizzle. The bulk of the precip moves off towards the east, and we dry it out. Tonight, we're heading back down to the teens. Wind chills, single digits again and below zero, close to being 5 degrees to 10 degrees below zero in the west. More precip moving up with wave number 2 tomorrow. And again, more slick travel. That's the concern. Tomorrow afternoon, mid-20s on the way, and tomorrow afternoon the precip starts to wind down from the west to the east. When you add it all up, below freezing for about 85 hours. We dip below freezing in Oklahoma City at 1 a.m. Sunday. We'll likely be below freezing until about 2 o'clock Wednesday, and we'll try to scoot up above freezing for a little while before we get into Wednesday night and another round. Yes, a third round of precip is possible Wednesday night, and maybe some frozen precip as well, especially along and south of I-40. That third wave is not locked in. We do warm it up, guys. There are 40s and 50s on the way. Some sunshine heading into your weekend. But right now, we are in the thick of it. Roads are a mess across most of the metro. Back to you guys at the desk. I know you have more. Oh, we're going to break. Okay, we'll go to break. Thank you, man. We'll be back.
It's 405-939-LIFE or go to neuropathyok.com.
Welcome back as we are in extended coverage right here on News 9. The 8 o'clock hour, the rush hour really underway, and we're seeing kind of things change over as far as driving too.
And it's happening fast. Let's get over to meteorologist Hannah Scholl. She's watching the roads for us, and things are turning.
Yeah, guys, roads are going downhill really quickly, especially as they see that heavy sleet move through. This is actually not due to the precip, but I'll show you the road conditions in just a second. Addie Crawford on scene there. We do have an accident on the on-ramp from I-240 to I-35. So if you're heading that direction, it is causing a slowdown. People are kind of having to make a really hazardous entrance onto the major highway. So just be aware of that. Let's take a look now at our ODOT cams. Lake Hefner Parkway is one of the worst roads in the metro right now. So this is Lake Hefner Parkway and Memorial. People really crawling on Lake Hefner Parkway, heading southbound, and then also on Memorial and the Kilpatrick as well. This is a little bit further south. We're now at 122nd Street. This is facing southbound. A big time backup heading southbound on Lake Hefner Parkway there, and then a little bit further south even, still seeing that backup at Hefner and Lake Hefner Parkway, also in the southbound lanes. Then we get to Grand, and this is what we see. Pretty much nothing. It's just a tiny bit further south. So these people who are racing on at highway speeds are about to hit the sleet-covered roadways once they get up just a little bit further north. So that, I think, could cause big-time problems as people are not ready to see roadways just completely slick and hazardous once they get to a certain point. So let's take a look now at the map where some of the worst places are throughout around I-44 and south. Right now, you're good to go. I-35, that's just typical for us at this time. The worst roadways are kind of right along this line here. So I-35 north and south, north of the Kilpatrick, so our Edmond drivers, and then Lake Hefner Parkway, as I was mentioning, big time backup in the northbound lanes and the southbound lanes just south of Hefner. The Kilpatrick is slow all the way around from Wilshire all the way up and around to Broadway Extension there. And all of this is because of sleet-packed roadways. And we have had a couple reports of accidents, nothing on major highways, but Wilshire and Hudson is where one of the accidents is, and then also Portland and 150th is where another accident has been reported as well. This is a look at our American Fidelity cam. Still seeing clear roadways, but sleet coming down and starting to see a little bit of fog build in on our National Cowboy Museum cam. That's I-44 right near Kelly, seeing the sleet coming down there. Still the roadways are clear though, and people going highway speeds. Our downtown cam now, you can barely see it, but that's I-40 and the Skydance Bridge. And Norman, further south, nothing. So definitely be careful, slow down, especially if you start to see precip, because things can go downhill very quickly, as you saw on Lake Hefner Parkway. Guys, back to you.
Might be a good idea just to drive with your GPS maps open, because it will tell you where there's a slowdown, and that will indicate when probably the sleet is piling up on the road, since
also
it's happening
just,
so fast.
Slow down a little bit too. If you have teen drivers, it might just be best for you to take them to school today if their school is still open. We have our Natalie Cruz is out off the Kilpatrick trying to make her way south to I-40, and we've had some trouble spots over there. Natalie, what are you seeing right now here at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, so the roads are definitely messy right now, and the roads are very slick here on the Kilpatrick. We're heading west. Cars are moving pretty slowly, as they should be. I think patience is definitely going to be tested today. So we want to make sure that people are driving really slow on the roads, because, you know, as Hannah and Lacey and Jen have been saying, just hazards and accidents can happen if we're not careful. We're starting to see some sleet and looks like some snow coming down on the Kilpatrick. But like I said, we haven't spotted any accidents, thankfully, on the roads right now. People are driving at a good pace, and just take it slow and safe out there. We'll keep you updated. For now, Natalie Cruz, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Natalie driving southbound there. You can see that northbound traffic on the Kilpatrick coming around on the west side. Very, very heavily impacted by traffic.
Let's go out now to Addie Crawford. Addie, you're still on this fender bender right here. What's the latest?
Yes, Robin, Lacey. OHP and an ambulance are on scene. There's been a wreck on the I-240 East exit to the I-35 North interchange. So if you're traveling this way, then make sure you leave with plenty of time. Be cautious, drive slow. There's still no signs of precipitation yet, but we know that is coming. We're going to keep you updated all morning long. Back to you guys.
All right, Addie Crawford there, I-240, I-35. Boy, there's a lot of drivers there here during the rush hour, so just a heads up if you are heading out the door right now.
Let's get up to the Lake Hefner Parkway. Jordan Daphnis is monitoring conditions. They have deteriorated since the last time we talked to you, Jordan.
Yeah, Lacey, it's coming down now. The roads are completely covered with this sleet. We're on Lake Hefner Parkway now. We've moved over near the Hefner Road exit. and you can see traffic in both directions is moving very, very slow. This is an area that's prone to being heavy with traffic during rush hour times. I'm not able to see where I'm at right now if there's an accident up ahead, but like I said, things are moving very, very slow. The sleet is coming down. It's about the size of like little tiny pebbles or large grains of sand. So that's just something to be aware of this morning as you're heading out the door. You are going to run into that traffic, and just take your time. I'm Jordan Daphnis for Oklahoma's Own News 9.
Jordan, great job. Of course, school closings and delays, a big issue today. These are some of the new ones that are coming in this morning. McLeod is virtual, Prague virtual, Seminole is totally closed, Stroud is virtual. Here in the metro, Bishop McGuinness High School is closed. That's the only metro school that is closed. I do want to pass along to our Putnam City Public School parents. Several bus drivers have called in sick today. That is causing some bus routes to run late. The district knows about it. They're saying, please be patient. We're doing our best in this brutal cold. Feels like 0 out there this morning.
We know from Oklahoma City Public Schools, they are having school today, but they are saying some buses are going to be late. They advise you, please drive your child to school. At this point, we don't know how the rest of the day is going to play out, so just make sure you look at those closings. They're always at the bottom of your screen.
Also, if you want, download the News 9 app. It sends you alerts straight to your cell phone for your specific area code.
All right, we're going to get over to Jed Castles. Jed, I heard from my friend Sam, and she said, yes, thunder sleet 2 miles south of Lazy E near Guthrie today. You and Lacey have been talking about it this morning.
Nice. Remember 1 week ago? Remember 1 week ago we were dealing with snow?
Yep.
But it didn't stick. This is the opposite of that. You have this cold air in place, and the precip coming down is now stuck right when it hit the ground, and it's causing some issues on the roadways out there. And you can see the precip now starting to expand across central Oklahoma, and where the precip is, it's kind of hard to even see radar because we have all of our trackers right in the path of where that precip is. So let's head out to the trackers, and we'll start with the upper end of this line. We'll start with Brandon Pennell, who's been on the northern side of this line as this precip moved in. Brandon, we've had some thunder, we've had that sleet. Again, now we've got the problems on the roadways. Boy, it's a big change from where we were just 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, Jed, you're absolutely correct. What a difference that just a couple of miles makes too. As we were coming north out of Oklahoma City and Moore area, about the time that we got to South Edmond, it just immediately changed into a heavy rain event and a flash freeze, and it's slowly but surely starting to completely change over to sleet. But the problem is that the sleet is not super solid ice, so as it's hitting the ground, it's also splattering and becoming more of a raindrop, and then just continuing to get packed in. Right here on 35 in Edmond at Southeast 15th Street, you can see in my shot how traffic is moving along, but it's extremely slow. I'd say probably 30 miles an hour at the most. And on the service road, as we've seen people trying to turn in to the Sam's and area restaurants here this morning to get breakfast, there's been a lot of slipping and sliding, but as of now, no wrecks, so that's a good thing. Back to you.
Okay, great report there, Brandon. Just down the line here is Hank Brown. Hank's in northwest Oklahoma City, Edmond area right now. Look at that roadway, Hank. That's just amazing how just, about 30, 45 minutes ago it was dry, and now this precip has fallen. It's just a sheet of ice out there.
Yeah, Jed, this is actually the Hefner Parkway. I'm coming up on Hefner. And as these bands move through, they're moving really fast. They're almost like a thunderstorm. Well, they are thunderstorms, but they're really moving fast. But they're so convective in nature. When it comes through, it's almost like small hail. There's a mixture of sleet and grapple and some freezing rain, but it was really big, just like small ice balls, and it just covered the road almost immediately. So even my windshield wipers, as they were going back and forth during that heavy band, it was almost like I had an ice scraper shoveling that off the windshield. It was so heavy. So the roadways are slick, but the good thing about this morning is it went straight to sleet and slick roads, and so we're not seeing those high-speed, high-impact black ice-type crashes. Right now I'm on the Hefner Parkway, and we're crawling along about 15 miles an hour. So if there's any, solace or positive this morning, is that it got so bad so quick, everybody is now driving slow. So hopefully we'll keep the accidents down to a minimum. Jed, back to you.
That incline to your right, Hank, people are getting off the exit ramp up those. Are they having any problem getting up those here this morning?
You know, not really, because most of it's sleet. When I came from the Kilpatrick, the big curve that runs south to Hefner Parkway, I didn't really have any problems with that either. Everybody was doing about 20 miles an hour or so. And like I say, where it's just sleet, the traction's not so bad. Now, further north up around Rose Creek and even west out by Gaillardia, I had some patches of freezing rain that came through on top of that sleet, and it got ice. Very slick immediately. So right now, where it's just mainly these buckets of sleet, the traffic is not all of that bad.
All right, there you go. This is one area you're looking at here. It's kind of a band that runs from Canadian County across the northwest sides of Oklahoma City up into Edmond. Let's head a little further south. Let's go to Jeremy Carter, who's traveling south. That's what it looks like there. So not all roads are terrible right now. Jeremy is tracking further south as new bands are forming up on the south sides of the metro. Jeremy, let's get an update from you.
Yeah, Jed, right now I'm out on Airport Road where the Kilpatrick and the Airport Road meet, and you can see there's kind of some light snow falling here. Not really a lot of precip in this area, but with these new cells forming back to the south, I'm going to go back down towards Norman and more, kind of Newcastle, see what we got going over there. Back to you, Jed.
All right, very good. And further down the line, Marty Logan, who's back in southwest Oklahoma. Marty, you kind of started this event off as that precip got started in southwest Oklahoma. You've been dealing with some ice. You've had some freezing rain, some sleet. Let's get an update now. What are the conditions like there down around Fort Cobb?
Well, I'm in Fort Cobb right now. In an unusual situation, I'm at the post office, and we have a vehicle turned up on its side, and it looks like it's been hitting the side by that black car. I don't know if this is weather-related or not. The roads do have some sleet here in Fort Cobb. Nothing is falling right now. I'll find out more information on this accident. Back to you, Jed.
Okay, that's definitely weird. Hey, just jumping into the picture now, we have Val Castor, who's just jumping in. He's on I-35 now. He's entering the sleet and the snow and the freezing rain now just north of the Edmond area. Let's check in with Val Castor. Val, you're coming down the pike there. Starting to precip there. You can see a little bit on your windshield. Let's get an update from you.
Yeah, so it just now started, and it's all rain right here. There's no sleet mixed in at all yet. It is all freezing rain. And let me tell you this, that when it hits the windshield, you can run the wipers, and it's not going away. So right now, Jed, we're crossing the Cimarron River Bridge north of Guthrie, and I'm starting to notice a little bit of slickness starting here. When I hit the brakes, I start to slide a little bit. So that's pretty bad. Treacherous glaze ice starting to form out here. Back to you.
So the roadways are wet right now, becoming icy.
No. It's slick. When I hit the brakes, it's ice.
Okay. So there you go. Yes. So you see a shot. You're not seeing all the precip falling right now, but the roadway looks a little damp. That's not damp. That's ice right now. So roadways in these kind of conditions, they just go hazardous very, very quickly. So our trackers are out. You got a good survey of what's going on right now. We'll check in with them again here in just a little bit. Let's show you some of the radar views and get the forecast on how this is going to play out. Again, from southwest Oklahoma up through the metro, this is where we have those freezing bands kind of rolling across. It's been the form, as you just mentioned for Val, of some freezing rain. We've had some sleet. We've had a little snow mixing in. Grapple being reported out of this as well. It's just kind of a little snowball that forms. That's been forming up, and that's created some traffic issues there across these areas where this precip has been moving across. And it's been kind of heavy in some spots. You see the view here. Look up near Kearney and Agra. These areas have some thunder sleet going on right now. So you've got the thunderstorm kind of on the leading edge of this. The rest of this mainly is just some shower activity, again, rolling right through the central part of the state. Northern sides of the metro, again, the heaviest precip now just east of Mitch Park, heading over toward I-35, right there between Waterloo Road and 2nd Street. That's rolling northeastward. One little thunderstorm just tracking northeast of Arcadia, up just north of Luther, and then a little further west there, you see new bands kind of coming in to the west, kind of rolling through. And as you see here, not everybody is seeing precip. Some areas actually are dry, so some areas are roads are in good shape, but other areas, like I just mentioned, we saw from our trackers, these areas up here where the trackers are located, that's where we got our toughest conditions right now. Got some precip up near Val, near Guthrie right now. Guthrie, just north of Guthrie, west of Guthrie near Crescent, and then further south, new bands going on. Jeremy's headed that direction to intercept those. So down around Moore, Norman, Blanchard, you've got this precip kind of coming across, and air temperatures, again, they're struggling even to get to just 20. So when this precip comes down, it's an automatic flash freeze when these touch the ground, and that's where you get these more travel hazard type roadways that are building across the metro. Again, this is some of the precip that's been falling. It's kind of been falling along a band, as I showed you that purple on those road conditions. That's this band right in here. It's rolled right across the metro, now shifting up to northeast of Oklahoma City, near Kearney and the Agra area, and new bands starting to form further south. And those, as you see there, are rolling right up toward the Moore areas. So pockets or bands of icy roadways, slick and hazardous roadways are occurring right now. So you're okay to get out. Just know you're going to intersect some of these conditions where the roads really turn bad quickly. So just reduce your speeds. Just monitor those around you. Make sure you're watching out for the people around you as well, and you should be able to get to where you need to go pretty safely, but just do so with caution because there are travel advisories covering much of the state today. Further south down here in southern and southeast Oklahoma, that's where we think the heavier bands of precip are expected, and there'll be more problems due to ice and freezing rain there. So what to expect the rest of today? Now through noon, it's going to be frigid, very cold. So you don't want to get stuck out in these conditions. So make sure you've got that winter travel kit with you, extra blankets, water, some munchies to be chewing on if you get stopped or have some kind of issue. Make sure you're prepared if you have to do any longer distance travel. Some areas of sleet, got like freezing rain. Some thunder continues here this morning. That precip should come to an end for the most part here in Oklahoma City, although it will shift into eastern and southeast Oklahoma. Tonight looks mainly dry as that next round develops. That'll start forming up in southern Oklahoma, and that'll roll up across the state with more ice and sleet, maybe a little snow mixed in there, and more slick roadways as well. Again, live view looking out from our Integris cam. Lacey showed this picture just under 30 minutes ago. It was completely bone dry, now covered in the whiteness of sleet, freezing rain, a little snow mixed in. Currently 17, north winds at 16, and that drops that wind chill to 2 degrees. Extremely cold conditions. As you see the precip and the temperatures there, got areas of snow, sleet, freezing rain forming over the metro, lifting northeastward with morning temperatures hovering in the teens. Morning wind chills, they're close to 0. So it's just a bitterly cold start this morning. If you don't have to get out, would not do it because it's just miserable out there. -2 currently in Mustang and El Reno. So here's your temperatures right now across the state as we look at your afternoon temps. Teens, 20s on the way, some low 20s here for Oklahoma City. We'll try to muster back up above freezing. So don't expect a whole lot with those temperatures here. 18, 20, 21, 22, maybe 23. And that precip looks best here out the door this morning. Gradually will wind down about 2 o'clock today, then move out, and any chance of additional precip between 4 and 6 o'clock right now is under 20%, as most spots will be drawing back out. Teens and 20s across Oklahoma right now, single digits in the Panhandle, and still out in the Panhandle, we have temperatures down around -10. So we have a wind chill advisory there through 9 o'clock this morning. Elsewhere, just a bitterly cold morning across Oklahoma. Futurecast has that precip start to shift away from Oklahoma City. And as we go into the afternoon today, still some around across northeast Oklahoma into the south and southeast parts. And these heavier bands you see down here through this evening are going to be the areas that'll create more icing. And that eventually will create some power disruptions across the southeast part of the state. Mainly some light ice now through noon across much of the state right now. Again, light ice and some sleet here in Oklahoma City. Like I said, there's a little snow mixed in there this morning, just kind of a winter mix, and that'll continue, but gradually wind down here in central parts of Oklahoma as we look at our forecast into the evening. This will, for icing, mainly a glaze of ice expected. Maybe up to 1/10 of an inch, but mainly a glaze there. The heavier totals down here in southern and southeast Oklahoma. And as far as sleet goes, again, some areas of sleet. The higher sleet totals will shift over into eastern and northeast parts of Oklahoma, and we'll have some of that around here going into the evening hours today, especially east of Oklahoma City. So again, teens, 20s for highs coming up today. As you check your view on radar once again, just waking up and just trying to get out the door this morning. We got the areas of precip freezing rain, sleet, and a little snow mixing in right here across the central parts of the state. So kind of zooming in, you see our trackers are on top of it here this morning as these bands move on through. Some of these bands have been heavier this morning. You see those pockets of blue, or I mean that purple and red, even black. That's heavier cores. These are like thunderstorms over this Arctic dome that's moving through. We call that thunder slate. We've been dealing with that this morning. See a lightning counter behind me. 5, 6 counted strikes here in the last 10 minutes. So we're seeing a little lightning with some of these heavier cores kind of moving on through. And again, look at the statewide view. Not too bad. Things are pretty good in northwest Oklahoma, southeast Oklahoma. For now, you're good. Most of the action is going on right here in the central part of the state. That'll continue for a while longer. Just past lunchtime today, much of this should start to slide off to the east. So if you have to be out this morning, your conditions are probably pretty tough to get on those roadways because of the slick sleet and the ice that has been forming up. So we've got the ice that's going to continue, maybe a little sleet mixed in. 22 today, 25 for your Tuesday, 35 on Wednesday. Try to get back up above freezing. Try to get up above freezing by 46 on Thursday, and then we'll dry it out and should warm it back up. Got some 50s on the way for the weekend. Might just get close to 60 by the early parts of next week. But between now and Thursday, we're kind of under the gun for rounds of winter precip. Better chances coming in this morning. And again, once again, tomorrow morning here for Oklahoma City. So we're monitoring it. We'll keep you updated. More details on the trackers here coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jed, thanks so much. You guys pegged the time. I mean, right around 6 a.m., conditions started changing. They've really deteriorated as the morning has moved along.
Let's get over to meteorologist Hannah Scholl. She's watching the roads and the traffic. Any crashes right now, Hannah?
Yeah, guys, it's getting to the point where every time I refresh, there's more crashes being reported. So this is one on I-44 heading northbound. The actual accident is at Northwest 36th Street. This camera view is all the way at Northwest 23rd Street. You can see really moving slowly in the northbound lanes. This is the same camera facing south. So you can see conditions really deteriorating there. This is back on Lake Hefner Parkway, still one of the worst spots in the metro, all the way up at 122nd Street, southbound lanes really moving slow there. And then we also have a look at the Kilpatrick, another spot that has been pretty bad here throughout the morning, and the sleet covered the roadways there. Let's take a look now at the map to show you where exactly these accidents are. This one, again, I-44 heading northbound right at Northwest 36th Street. That's where one of the accidents has been reported. And then we have another one way up if you're coming in from Edmond on I-35 heading southbound right at 15th Street. An accident was reported there as well. But people are moving slowly both south and north of where that accident is because highway conditions are so bad up there. So coming in from Edmond, coming in from Guthrie, both of those spots, you're going to be moving really slowly with slick and hazardous conditions. So southeast sides of the metro, not looking too bad right now as far as your flow. So people still going highway speeds, but you can see highway conditions will change very quickly. Some people have sleet on roadways, some people have freezing rain on roadways, and then a mix of the two is going to be a fatal combination as well, with the sleet packing down with the freezing rain on top or below, really making things slick. I think still some of the worst conditions are on the northwest side of the metro, so Lake Hefner Parkway has really continued to be one of the worst spots, as well as the Kilpatrick Turnpike heading northbound just south of Wilshire there, and then also Broadway Extension looking pretty bad as well. So just looking at some of the cameras around the metro, this is our American Fidelity cam. Looks like we're seeing some snow mixing in there, but that could also just be sleet. We got a Broadway Extension, sleet covered there with slick spots as well. Our National Cowboy Museum on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, I-44, right Neil Kelly, starting to see some accumulation on that roadway as well. And then our Integris cam, Lake Hefner Parkway and Northwest Expressway, both sleet covered at this point. And look at the off ramps and the on ramps. Those are where you could get really in trouble because you don't have those lines where people have been driving and kind of melting the precip. It's just completely packed with sleet and ice. So that's another area to be safe. And starting downtown, even starting to see some of that precip. That's I-40 at the Skydance Bridge. A little bit further south, I-40 and I-44. Things are looking a little bit better on our Mathis home cam, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, and then even further south, really nothing to worry about on our Norman cam there, I-35. But again, you could be one place and just a mile, 2 miles down the road, things go downhill really quickly. So you need to be paying extra attention, putting distractions down, and really slowing it down because you could be running into some sleet covered, slick roadways very quickly. Guys, back to you.
All right, Hannah, thanks so much. And Hannah was talking about Lake Hefner Parkway. It's one of the worst places. We're going to talk with Jordan in a moment right there from the location.
Jordan, where are you and how bad has it gotten in the last 10 minutes since we last spoke?
Okay, so things have really picked up here. We're in the Lake Hefner area. Okay, we want to show you stopping time. So Andy's going to go. He's going to go to 20, and then we're going to break. Okay, go ahead, break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we were going, I'd say that was about 8 seconds. Yeah, we were just going 20 miles per hour. It took us 8 seconds to stop there. So that just gives you an example of if you're going 40, 50, 60 on the freeway, it's going to take you some time to slow down. So that's something to keep in mind this morning. We're going to head back to the freeways and watch traffic for you guys.
All right, Jordan, they're over near Lake Hefner Parkway. It looks like over by the Quail Creek area. So just a heads up, those secondary roads can really catch you off guard if you're not careful, just like they were proving. You know, you think, oh, I got plenty of time to stop, and then, whew, it can catch you off guard.
It has just changed so quickly. Clear roads earlier, and now you can't find a clear spot on the road.
Our Addie Crawford has been on a wreck over near I-240, I-35 for some time. Looks like traffic's backing up in that area just a little bit more. Addie, what are you seeing?
Robin, Lacey, I'm still here at the wreck on the I-240 east exit to the I-35 north interchange. Oklahoma Highway Patrol is on the scene, and a wrecker is towing a car involved in the wreck. Another wrecker already came and towed the other car involved, so it's about to get cleared up. So if you're traveling this way, then make sure to plan your trip with plenty of time. Even though there's no snow or rain or ice right now, still go slow as precipitation is expected to be here soon. We're going to keep monitoring the roads and keep you guys informed and updated. Reporting live, Addie Crawford, Oklahoma's own News 9.
All right, Addie, thanks so much. We're going to take a break. News 9 with team coverage here this morning as we continue watching the roadways on a Monday, trying to get you through this Monday in a decent way.
Manic
during the remodel at Bob Mills.
Welcome back to News 9. We're in extended coverage here as the weather conditions are deteriorating, and we're seeing it really right here in the metro as well.
Absolutely, and they got the timeline spot on. We've been in continuous coverage now for over an hour watching this precipitation come right into the metro. Let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Jed Castles has the latest. Jed?
Okay, so precip's moved in. The temperatures are down around 17, so when it fell, it stuck on contact, and immediately we were having problems on the roadways. Hannah's reporting a lot of accidents reporting inside the bands where this precip has been falling, so really just reduce your speeds. Folks seem to be doing okay for the most part. If you're flying out of control, you're probably going to get an accident. Just slow it down and just be careful, because this is what the current roadways look like where we have these heavier bands of precip. Valcaster is just moving into that band now on the north sides of the Oklahoma City Metro, moving into Edmond. Val, you're monitoring the conditions on the roads. It looks like they're pretty icy out there. Let's get an update to how things are doing right now.
Yeah, Jed, getting pretty slick at the moment. I get in the habit of checking the roads ever so often by hitting the brakes and just seeing, and I just hit the brakes just now and started to slide. So it's slick. We're getting pretty much all sleet falling right now. It's pretty large sleet because you can hear it hitting the windshield really, really hard. This is not glaze ice, but it's definitely slick enough that everybody needs to slow down. And right now, Jed, everybody's driving about 50, which I think is a little too fast for this. Back to you.
Okay, great report there, Val. Listen to Val. He's the man. He knows his stuff. Let's check out Brandon Pendleshot. Brandon, you've been up in the Edmond area. We have an accident now at 15th and 35, which is roughly where you were located. You're saying people are willing to slow their speeds down there. You've traveled a little further south. Let's get an update on your location and tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, Jed, we're on 35, just coming up on Wilshire. I believe there's another accident just up ahead. I can see emergency lights, probably a half to three-quarters of a mile up in front of me, and traffic in the right-hand lane is basically a standstill. We have transitioned to mainly light snow in my area right now, and a lot of the traffic has blown some of the sleet off, but there is just a real thin layer of ice on I-35 right now. So, 25, 30 miles an hour is probably about the max speed you'd want to be going. But luckily, traffic is kind of slow right now, so nobody can go very much faster than that anyway. Back to you.
Brandon, where you're seeing those open areas where there's no precip showing, where people are kind of creating those ruts on the roads, is that ice right there, or is that drawing back out at all?
No, it's a real thin layer of ice, probably caused by that initial burst of freezing rain when it initially started about an hour and a half ago. It just immediately flash froze like it did on my windshield. I mean, it was immediate. My windshield was dry, and then it was nothing but ice within 15 to 20 seconds. Back to you.
All right, great job, Brandon. Let's check in with Hank. Hank's out there this morning. Hank, you've been out for quite some time now. It was pretty dry, didn't look too bad. All of a sudden, what you're seeing in your shot, that came down instantaneously. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, Jed, so I'm in the Nichols Hills area now. This is 63rd, and as I was coming down the Hefner Parkway, from the north, it was solid sleet covered. And then when I got to Lake Hefner, there was a freezing fog that was coming off of Lake Hefner that made the Hefner Parkway a solid sheet of ice. About a mile south of that, I got to about Wilshire, just south of the lake, and the roads wasn't even sleet packed anymore. But now what has happened is it's transitioned over to snow. So I keep going through bands of moderate to light snow that's laid down on top of the sleet that come through. So there is no melting going on at the moment. I just turned around in a parking lot, and it was solid. It was sleet with snow on top of it, and you couldn't even really see my tire tracks. So it is just solid frozen. Back to you, Jed.
Hank, are you seeing any lightning anymore? Is that still an issue on your shots right now?
No, I haven't seen any lightning in quite some time up more towards Edmond. I think that band that's moved out towards Luther is what is still convective. Everything here just seems to be more of a light snow, and I haven't seen any lightning in the last 30 minutes.
Okay, so this precip is now kind of expanding all across central Oklahoma. It's kind of coming up in bands. Further to the south, down in the Norman area, we've got Jeremy Carter down that way. Jeremy, kind of heading further south. We've been dealing with this sleet further north, but it's now down in the south. Let's get an update on what you're seeing right now.
Man, we got snow.
Yeah, so Jed, take a look at this. This is actually at 4th Street and more. I'm at the ONQ here, and we've been getting some freezing rain as well as sleet. Whenever I got off the highway, there wasn't any precipitation on the road or the ground. And just over the last few minutes, it's been accumulating. I think it's going to probably be pretty slick. Back to you, Jed.
All right, very good. We'll keep you up to date. Tracker's doing a great job. Further southwest, Marty's been down on Hobart, kind of started there, and you can see down in the Caddo County area, the precip is kind of let up, but there's still some bands down that way. Marty, let's get an update from you.
Yeah, just left Fort Cobb, where, by the way, that was a fatality accident in the parking lot of the post office there at Fort Cobb, but it was not weather-related. So now I'm continuing eastbound Highway 9, head over to Anadarko. And just as you came to me, of course, I ran out of the sleet cover, but this is the first place that I haven't had any sleet cover in the road. And one of the troopers, when we were visiting, said that the road was completely covered back west, where I came through at the same time also. So right now, the roads are okay down here until you get to where we have some sleet cover. Then it's like mini marbles you're driving on. No freezing rain right now. It's similar to what you guys have up in the city because it came from here and came up over you. I'll keep watching it. Back to you, Jed.
All right, very good. So trackers are out, keeping you up to date on what's going on statewide. We've got them all over the place. We'll keep you up to date as they are out to monitoring the situation. Again, bands of sleet and snow, even with freezing rain mixing in, rolling up over the metro. At times, we've had some thunder out of that, so that's been rolling up across. At times, we'll have some areas where it's dry, other areas where those bands are. Boy, it's slick, and it's really, really slick. Let's go to the road conditions right now. And again, that's where Marty started this morning, southwest Oklahoma, down in Hobart. It's kind of this band is kind of lifted right up here across central Oklahoma, continues to shift up toward the northeast part of the state. So freezing rain and sleet, a little snow mixing in, creating some snow and ice covered roads, at times very hazardous. So really reduce your speeds. You know, getting off of exit ramps and going up climbs or inclines, those will be the areas where you're probably gonna have most of your problems. So be careful with that. And again, so roadways tough now in around the Oklahoma City area. As we view on our radar here, there's your areas of precip moving through right now. Still some bands of heavier precip. You see there pockets at times, and within that, occasionally we'll get a clap or two, some thunder. Occasionally a lightning strike coming out of this, all rolling now up across the metro. But there's pockets where not much is going on, and there probably are still some dry roads in some spots. But more of those roads now, as this bands of precip start to roll up over the metro, are becoming more ice and snow covered. So if you got to get out this morning, just reduce your speeds. Watch this morning. Again, you'll run into some of these heavier bands that are moving through. But as you look at the view on radar, you can see the precip now starting to let up in around the metro area. So things are showing some signs of improvement further to the west. Again, watching that precip still in parts of the metro now, across parts of west and southwest Oklahoma, and then further south. That's where a lot more bands are beginning to develop. And the trends on this is going to redevelop south and east of Oklahoma City, and it's in those areas where we'll have the heavier amounts of freezing rain, sleet, and even some snow mixing in there. And you see these heavier bands from just east of Choctaw over to near Meeker, down to east of west of Shawnee, down to near, say, more Norman. Those little bands still could have a little lightning with them, so we'll continue to monitor that here this morning. Here's kind of the way it looks on radar. We're kind of throwing on the rainfall estimates, what the radar's predicting and showing. You see these bands kind of streaking by. The heaviest band rolled through the north sides of the metro, but a new one's starting to form now on the south side. So there's some areas that just haven't had a whole lot of precip with no major problems, but there are areas that have. So the winter weather advisory is in place now. Travel advisory covers much of central, northeast Oklahoma. Down further to the south, going into this evening, that's where we expect heavier precip to develop, heavier icing, heavier sleet, and those areas we'll be monitoring that, where we'll have probably some bigger problems here for Oklahoma. Frigid this morning, very, very cold out the door this morning. Areas of sleet, a little bit of snow and freezing rain mixing in too. A little thunder possible now through noontime today. Going into the afternoon, much of the precip for Oklahoma City should come to an end about 2 o'clock today, and that'll shift off to the east and southeast. Mainly dry overnight tonight as the next round develops further south into South Oklahoma, and we'll have some morning ice, sleet, and maybe a little snow mixing in too. Slick roads expected to redevelop coming up for Tuesday morning. Right now, view from our Integris cam, you see the roadways still very sleet, snow-packed this morning, but with the help of traction on the roads, that's helping to create some melting, and things are improving some. But just remember, anytime you talk about melting, you're talking about what is water. With air temperature at 17, it becomes ice. So when the traffic tends to back off on these roads, you could become more of a sheet of ice type situation there across the metro area. This is a view on next gen. Look at next gen temps. You see the precip moving through. There is some snow now falling here in and around the metro. Sleet here across parts of southern metro over toward the Shawnee area. And these are air temperatures not moving at all, where they're hovering in about 15 to 20 degrees over much of central Oklahoma. You add that wind. Wind right now is up 10, 15 miles per hour, and that's enough to drop us down to near zero. A few spots still holding at -2 down around Mustang. Single digits cover the rest of the metro. So if you have to get out and you were to happen to get stuck in these conditions or have a wreck or something, this is what you got to prepare for. Layer up, be prepared. It's very, very cold here out the door this morning. So temperatures today rebounding teens, 20s, low 20s here for Oklahoma. And again, the precip chance will gradually wind down. Still likely chances here this morning through lunchtime. By 2 o'clock, 40% chances, and then by 4, 6 o'clock, those chances should diminish down to about 20% or less here for the metro area. So teens across Oklahoma, some 20s south and east. It's a cold start this morning, single digits. Above and below zero wind chills covering most of the state right now. Still up to -10 out in the panhandle right now. Frigid air. Wind chill advisory continues out that way. As we look at our futurecast, we go through the day to day. Some precip continues through mid-morning. As we go into the afternoon, another round will come in. Most of that precip will start sliding off to the south and east going into the evening hours. And these thicker bands of precip there will allow for some higher totals of precip. As we look at our forecast today, now through noon, again, some areas of sleet, ice, a little thunder mixed in. That continues. Light icing across southeast Oklahoma, and that'll continue to shove off to the east with that sleet, light ice, thunder activity continuing in east Oklahoma through the afternoon with some freezing rain down in southeast Oklahoma. As far as icing goes for today, this will take you through this evening. The highest icing expected over here in eastern, southeast Oklahoma. Some spots, 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice. That will create some power disruptions or some power outages. Elsewhere, mainly a glaze of ice, but all it takes is a glaze of ice to cause big problems. So watch it west, south, into east Oklahoma. If you get around Enid, say Ponca City, Alva, probably less problems for you. You probably have the best conditions here for today. Sleet conditions also possible, and some areas could pick up close to 1/4 inch near the metro. Most spots will see probably just a bit less than that. So again, highs today, teens and 20s across Oklahoma. As we look at the view on radar once again, just joining us here, areas of precip moving across in the form of some sleet, some freezing rain, and some snow. Some of that is heavy at times. We have our trackers you see on the board. They're monitoring it. Right now, much of the metro has quieted down, but still a few more bands off to our west. Those are rolling on through, so we've got a few more opportunities for that precip to slide on through over the next 2 to 3 hours. 22 today, more precip tomorrow, 25. We'll warm it up, try to get it above freezing on Wednesday and then way above freezing on Thursday. But in the process of that, we do drop down below freezing. So Wednesday night, Thursday morning, might just see some additional precip, and that'll be in the form of some freezing rain before this thing comes to an end. Things improve, and we get some 50s back in here. Might even get close to 60 going toward Mondays. We're watching it, guys. Stay through 9. We'll keep you advised.
All right, Jed, you'll see those closings at the bottom of your screen. We're right on time here, that's for sure. We definitely want you to know, just coming in, Heritage Hall schools in the metro are also closed. I'm seeing a lot more of community events that are closed, so just a heads up, they're all scrolling. We've added a lot more at the bottom as the situation's deteriorated.
Yes, as we get throughout the morning. All right, right now, 8:45. Want to get over to meteorologist Hannah Scholl. She's watching the roads for us. Hannah?
Yeah, guys, so we're starting to see the morning rush die down, so that's good news. A little bit less people on the roadways, but of course, the roads are still slick and hazardous. We do have multiple accidents reported on I-44 heading northbound. At Northwest 36 is where the actual accident is. This camera at Northwest 23rd, but I was talking to Trooper Foster earlier. He said that OHP officers were heading that, or troopers rather, were heading that way. They ran into multiple accidents along I-44 heading northbound, so definitely a problem spot for us. There's the same camera, the northbound lanes right there. So this is the camera facing southbound. Now heading over to Lake Hefner Parkway. This is at 122nd Street facing northbound. So those are the southbound lanes. Still one of the worst spots in the metro as we see the sleet covered roadways. And then same camera now facing southbound. You can see how far that backup goes on Lake Hefner Parkway heading southbound. And then the off ramps, just taking a look at them. The off ramps and on ramps, they don't have the little melted spots where your tires go. Not that those are any less slick, as Brandon was saying, there's still a sheet of ice under the sleet, but the off ramps and on ramps that haven't been driven on as much, those are going to be extra slick as well. Let's take a look now at the map because we have more accidents reported than just that. Here's the one on I-35 heading southbound right at 15th Street. Val just drove past it just a little bit ago. Everything is still moving really slowly there. And then also I-35 heading southbound right at Wilshire. Brandon reported seeing an accident there as well. That is causing a little bit of a backup, but everyone is moving slow and should be moving slowly in those places where we have the sleet covered roadways. This accident right here is the same one, I-35 heading, I-44 rather, heading northbound right at Northwest 36th Street, and also a big time problem spot as the roadway is kind of curving there. It's not straight, so maybe people kind of sliding around as they have to go at highway speeds or maybe trying to go too fast and then having to turn on top of that. So I think that's one of the reasons why that spot has been a big time problem spot for us this morning. So still seeing the worst road conditions in northwest Oklahoma, or Oklahoma City rather, especially right along Lake Hefner Parkway. But let's just take a look at a couple of the cameras across the metro. We got Broadway extension on our American Fidelity Cam, ongoing precip. We got the roadways covered in sleet with some freezing rain down there as well, so causing some slick spots and problems on Broadway extension. National Cowboy Museum Cam on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, not as bad. I-44 right at Kelly, and then our Integris Cam continually showing more sleet on the roadways. Lake Hefner Parkway, Northwest Expressway, off ramps and on ramps again are completely sleet covered and are definitely a little bit slicker there. This is downtown. Everything is moving fine. We don't have any precip covering the roadways there. I-40 right near the Skydance Bridge and a couple of our downtown cams, and then now seeing precip starting out on our Mathis home cam, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. I-40, I-44 right there near Southwest 15th Street. Still not seeing precip covering the roadways, but again, that really doesn't mean anything, especially when we have freezing rain, because you can't see it. It's just going to be ice on the roadways. Jeremy was reporting some of that on I-35 down in Moore as well. So we'll continue to watch this on the roadways. I continue to get more and more accidents reported, so definitely just slow down, be safe, put down your phone, and increase your following distance behind the car in front of you. Guys, back to you.
All right, boy, good view of what's going on around the metro. And as we were talking, you know, Northwest Expressway, it seems like right at Lake Hefner Parkway is bad out there.
It's total. It's just how quick it changed over.
Yeah, just boom.
Shocked us earlier. Want to get out now to Jordan Daphnis. She's in Northwest Oklahoma City. Jordan, where are you now? How's it looking?
Right now, we're on the Kilpatrick Turnpike heading eastbound, and things are moving okay. Right over here, we just got through a big chunk of traffic. I think people were trying to exit, and so there was some congestion over there. But you can see here right in front of us, you can see the tire tracks and how that's kind of melted some of the sleet. And then over to our right, though, you can't see the road, and so it's going to be slicker over in that area. But just to keep that in mind, we're seeing the salt and sand trucks moving around as well, treating the roads. So if you got to get out, you can. Just be careful as you're doing so. I'm Jordan Daphnis. I'll send it back to you.
Jordan Daphnis reporting live.
All right, be careful driving out there. Appreciate you what you're doing. Our trackers are out, our reporters are out. Let's go to Addie Crawford. She is in the metro as well. Where are you and what are your conditions, Addie?
Robin, Lacey, we are going south towards Norman. We're in Moore right now. It just kind of stopped coming down, but some sleet was hitting pretty hard here. You can see it on the sides of the road and in the middle of the lanes. As you look off to the side, I can see that the parking lots are completely white. You really can't even see the black of the concrete. We're going to keep you updated all morning long in more. Addie Crawford, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
All right, Addie Crawford there with the update. Let's see how else we're doing on metro roadways.
News 9's Natalie Cruz is out and about. Natalie, where are you?
Good morning. Well, we are in Edmond heading north, coming off of the Broadway extension and West 33rd Street. As you guys can see, the roads are completely covered in sleet, probably like 80% covered in sleet. So you want to take it extra slow as you're driving, especially through the city streets, because they tend to get more congested. So good news is we haven't seen accidents in this neck of the woods, but of course we will keep you updated if we see anything like that coming our way. So definitely take it slow and stay warm out there. We will keep you guys updated. For now, Natalie Cruz, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
All right, Natalie, thanks so much. We're nearing the 9 a.m. hour. We are in continuous coverage right here on News 9. More closings coming in. You see them scrolling. One thing I am noticing, a lot of the Meals on Wheels programs, especially right here around the metro, are canceled today. So if you know an elderly person who might receive a meal on wheel, you might just check on them, make sure they are okay today. The latest school closing that affects the Metro Heritage Hall over on the northwest side of Oklahoma City, classes are canceled today. You'll see most classes, they're either open, doing virtual, or closing altogether.
I'm just shuffling through power outages, and we're still looking good with PSO and OG&E. Want to get up in the sky with Bob Mills, Sky News 9, Jim Gardner joining us now live. Jim, where are you, and how's it looking from the bird's eye view?
Well, Lacey, right now we're flying over Lake Hampton Parkway, going up towards Kilpatrick to the north here. Now, what's funny is when I left home in Piedmont today, there's absolutely nothing in Piedmont. I mean, we are dry. There's nothing on the ground. I've been flying through light snow, then I fly through some sleet. Right now, we are in the clear. We're coming out, and like I said, we're northbound on Hampton Parkway. We've seen cars that slid off into the median. No wrecks right now, but cars that have slid off because it is very slick. The sand trucks are out. But right now, traffic's moving very cautiously, which is what they need to be doing. And right now, we have no tie-ups on the Hampton Parkway here coming up to the Kilpatrick. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Boy, we've seen that traffic southbound coming in from Highway 74 as you're looking there to the north, Jim. Boy, it is a little slow going there for sure.
Well, that's right. You know, that's what people need to do because it is very slick. It's definitely the sleet is falling on the ground, kind of melted a little bit, it's refroze. You know, then we have a little bit of snow. Like I said, I've flown through everything this morning. Snow flurries, sleet, ice pellets. You know, we took on a little bit of icing earlier because it was a little bit of freezing rain. We're out of that now. If we tilt up here, we'll show you the line. We're right at the edge. Let's keep tilting up, Rich. Let's keep tilting up. We'll tilt up here, and you can see the line as we come up here. You'll see the line right there. You see the sunshine?
Yep, there it is.
There's the line. We're right on the edge right now. That's north of on Portland there.
Yeah.
Probably about 178th. And you can see it's just sunshine. Now we come back down to the south, we start going into that freezing rain, ice pellets, and light snow that is all down around the metro right now. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thanks so much.
Pretty incredible to see that dividing line
and
so
we've
clear.
seen that all morning long. That's kind of what's played out. These pockets kind of come through. They're heavy. They affect things. And then not too far to the north or south, you know, things have changed. So here we go.
Yeah,
Let's check in
absolutely,
with,
guys.
Hannah, what's the latest?
Oh, man. So this is a look at I-44 where it runs north-south. This is right at Northwest 23rd Street. You can see the wind blowing the sleet around on the roadways there, and, of course, the sleet collecting on the sides. This was really backed up just a second ago. Now it has cleared, so that's good news for you, but road conditions are still bad. I think things are clearing up because people are getting to their destinations. The morning rush is over. Let's take a look now at the map so we can kind of check in to see where we are. Lake Hefner Parkway still is the slowest, heading southbound right at 102nd, 122nd, all the way down to about Hefner Road there. I-35 heading north and southbound, also slow. And then I-44, a couple spots there, also slow. But as Jim was saying, you can be one spot and it's completely fine, and then you'll hit another spot and it is completely covered in sleet. I'll continue to monitor roadways and be back with another update in just a little bit. Guys, back to you.
Castle's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Jed, what's the next round going to kind of come on through?
So the round is still over us right now. It's going to gradually start to develop off to the east and south of us going into the afternoon. Starting to see the process of that happening right now, but still precip over the metro right now. Our trackers are in place over the metro as rounds of sleet, freezing rain, a little snow mixing in, continues to move on through with the general trend. This will start to move to the east and things should start to calm down some for the metro. We'll take a break and we have a lot more details. David Payne is in. We'll have more details coming up in just a minute. Stay with News 9.
$5,235 Wolf.
The Riverwind Casino Sports Desk, only on News 9. Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now with winter weather.
Right now at 9 o'clock, the state's largest team of weather trackers and News 9 crews out in full force this morning as an Arctic blast slams into Oklahoma.
It's already freezing outside, but this wintry mix is heating up. News 9 at 9 is right now with live winter coverage.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Lacey Lowry.
I'm Robin Marsh. David Payne in the house this morning. Good morning.
We're all here. Jed, let's see, Andrew, Hannah. Oh, yeah. Look at Storm over there. That guy, you can't take him anywhere. Hey, guys, here's the deal. We're kind of a city divided, and Jim Gardner was showing you that shot. Edmond, North Metro, it's just completely sleet covered, right? You get farther south, you get to downtown, we've had a little bit of sleet, but we're mainly getting some light snow. So every place, everywhere is not covered up with a solid sheet of sleet. Say that 10 times. But that's what's going on right now. Let's get out in the field here. Let's talk to our trackers. Some of them are where the roads are completely clean and green. Let's go to Val Castor. Let's bring Val in here and get an update from Val. We'll take his shot. And Val, he's at Rockwell. There we go. Give us an update here, Val. Roads out there, not so good, but not impassable. You can get around. Go ahead.
Yeah, so not impassable, David. And I'm going to start with the places that we found that it's the worst. So in Edmond on I-35, there is a layer of glaze ice in the lanes beneath where the sleet is. So it is pretty slick in places. Also north of Guthrie, up around between Stillwater and the Cimarron County River Bridge there, it's glaze ice because we had straight freezing rain up there. Out here, there's a lot more sleet, what we found. But, David, the main thing is that road conditions are highly variable, and you really don't know what you expect for the next mile. It changes. Back to you.
That's exactly right. Anything from we've had sleet, like he said, to freezing rain, to areas that haven't had hardly anything at all, even here in Oklahoma City, or at least light amounts. So you're doing okay. Just act like everything is covered up with some sleet and you'll be fine. I just drove in, left Edmond, lots of sleet covering the ground, but I was able to, get traction, took it slow, and I didn't have any problems getting in. I didn't go very fast, but you just got to go slow and easy. All right. Look at that shot there from Hank, and wow, that just happened. Let's get an update from Hank. Hank, are you on I-40 or are you on 235? You're on I-40, aren't you?
Yeah, this is I-40. So about 15 minutes ago, I-40 just kind of had some light blowing snow, and this cell that moved across from Bethany, right down I-40 that's now headed towards Spencer, I was seeing multiple lightning strikes, and it laid down probably a quarter to a half inch of sleet in less than 10 minutes. So when you came in, I-40, just dusty. Now, I-40 is pretty well packed in sleet. Back to you.
All right, great job there. So here's the deal. As you get, again, from where he is, farther east up towards downtown, he's coming up on downtown. Roads are better here in Oklahoma City, at least downtown. We have some light snow, but they don't look like this, all right? Let's go to Links 2, and temperatures in the teens. Not much zero melting going on right now. It's in those single digits right now in the Panhandle. So this swath of sleet and freezing rain took off like a house on fire about 7 o'clock this morning in southwestern Oklahoma and came rocketing up I-44. Take you back to earlier this morning, and look how quickly this took off. Here's the deal. We had thunder, we had lightning, we had hail. We had up to quarter-size hail with the sleet in Oklahoma City. So the instability was high above our heads. All right, so that big heavy band that gave Oklahoma City the first shellacking of sleet, that's now running from Stroud to Tulsa. They're going to get hammered up here. But now notice what's going on around Oklahoma City. We're looking at pockets of sleet that continue to move through, running from the southwest to the northeast. And these, again, we're going to go on and are going to go on for the next couple of hours. Ladies, you guys have a lot more. Go ahead.
Some breaking news right now. Jim Gardner above the scene near 34th and May Avenue. An apartment fire fully engulfed. Jim, what do you know?
Well, that's right, Robin. This is going to be around the cross street's going to be Northwest 31st and May Avenue. Now, when we arrived, we have heavy flames coming out of this one unit right here, and they were trying to get everybody out of the building. We actually saw people, there's steps right there that you can see coming down. People were actually falling down those steps trying to get away from that fire. Like I said, they got some of the flames knocked down when we arrived. There's heavy flames coming out of this, and people were trying to come out of it there and falling down those stairs. Some of them looked kind of, they walked away, but they weren't feeling very good. Their little kids were coming down the stairs, so they're trying to get everybody out of this apartment complex here that, like I said, is on the north side. That's going to be the north side right there. You can see flames still shooting out the second-story windows. But again, this is an apartment complex at Northwest 31st and May, right next to Advanced Auto Parts there. I don't know the name of it. It's a small apartment complex, but they have called in. I don't know how many alarms this is. I just saw some more ladders show up here. But this is still ongoing. It's definitely not under control. And like I said, I just hope all the people got out of this okay, and the ones that fell down those stairs are okay. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Goodness, the smoke just billowing out of there, and those folks running to safety, running for their lives into what feels like 0-degree temperatures.
And boy, heavy smoke pouring out of this apartment complex again, right near Northwest 31st and May Avenue. Jim Gardner above the scene, and look, you can see crews on top trying to get the fire out and on the ground as well. So we're going to continue following this, but obviously this is, people are living here. Jim talked about they saw people running out for their lives as this just started. You know, Jim was just over off Lake Hefner Parkway just about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and we got the call. The apartment was on fire, and he made his way quickly there. And this thing caught fire very fast. At this point, we don't know what started the fire, but again, a very active scene. So if you're near May Avenue, kind of right by that auto zone at kind of 30th and May Avenue, you'll definitely see the smoke in the area.
Got a couple of different storylines playing out here. We're going to keep following that. Want to get back over to David Payne. David, what are the winds at right now?
Well, the good news, not that strong. I mean, it is a breezy north wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wind chills just above 0. Firefighters, though, obviously, when they start to spray water on that, it's going to go to ice immediately. I mean, we're in the teens, so that's going to be just a mess here when they start putting water on that, but obviously they have to. So, wow. Okay, we'll keep tracking that, obviously. Pockets of sleet continue to move across eastern Oklahoma. Look at the areas that you see the yellow going to the reds. Those are where you pick up a quarter to upwards of a ½ inch of sleet in a short period of time. So we had that one little wave move right down I-40. Another wave moving through Norman right now. More sleet back near Blanchard and Purcell. Lightning in there. From time to time, you might have some small hail mixed in with the sleet as it once again continues to come down. A little closer shot, and right over Jones right now. Heavy sleet in Jones. You're looking at Next Gen Live. This is our 1,000,000-watt radar. And then out I-40, more sleet coming into Piedmont. That'll go back into the Edmond area. And once again, everything is going to be moving east-northeast at about 20-25 miles per hour. So that band of heavy sleet came right over downtown. It's now over Jones, right? And then east of here, Bristow down to Welty and Boley and Prague. More heavy sleet there. So this is not going to last all day. This will continue, at least with pockets off and on. And there we go. We're talking about heavy pockets of sleet. Norman down to Purcell, back down towards Chickasha. Once again, movement northeast. And a little bit of some freezing drizzle down there. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Mullen Plumbing encourages you not to ignore leaking pipes or clogged drains. It may seem like a minor problem, but could easily be an emergency waiting to happen. Professional service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mullen Plumbing, the Red Rooter.
I have sleep apnea. Couldn't use CPAP. Now I have this. This is Inspire. It's simple. It's just a button.
Sometimes I press this button.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside my body with a click of this remote.
No mask, no hose, just sleep.
We go night-night now.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Does a physical or mental health condition keep you from working? Do you need help applying for Social Security disability benefits, or have you been denied? I'm Scott London, and at London Disability, we have helped thousands of clients just like you. Call the number on your screen now. Hire an experienced disability advocate. Let us help you get the benefits you deserve.
Call 877-580-6349. That's 877-580-6349. Now.
Dad, I didn't know you played pool.
He used to love to play. Life gets in the way.
Come on, I want to show you something.
Experience one of Oklahoma's favorite events, Brahms and Affair of the Heart. Support small businesses while shopping hundreds of artists, makers, and small retailers. February 10th through 12th at the OKC Fairgrounds.
I'm Andrew Wilson, owner of You Move Me. After serving 5 years in Afghanistan and Iraq, I know the importance of superior service and the value of coming home. Whether it's across town or across the country, call You Move Me for your next move.
Mullen Plumbing encourages you not to ignore leaking pipes or clogged drains. It may seem like a minor problem, but could easily be an emergency waiting to happen. Professional service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mullen Plumbing, the Red Rooter.
New Wednesdays.
The Price is Right at night. Let's play lingo. The OG word game.
Are you ready? Go for game night.
It's outrageous.
The prizes are big.
$100,000 in cash.
And the games will keep you guessing.
Ample, stand, place, match,
Badge. Game night starts with The Price is Right at 8, followed by Lingo at 9. Wednesdays on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
All right, we are following breaking news. Northwest 31st and May, an apartment fire, and it's sending smoke and flames billowing into the sky.
A lot of drama playing out here. Let's get to Jim Gardner, Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Again, this is North 31st and May Avenue, again on the northwest side. Jim, boy, they're trying to get a hold of this one.
Boy, they are, Robin. And I tell you what, my hats are off to them guys because there's no way I'd be standing on that roof. I know we were CC box there for a little bit, but them guys were cutting right through the flames, trying to vent that roof. And they're still up there trying to vent that roof, and flames still all around them here. The side of the building fell off right there, all the siding a few minutes ago, but it is still burning. It is still out of control. And they're working to try to get this roof vented to let that heat out of there so they can get this fire under control more quickly. But right now, that's what they're working on right now. Right now, we have no reports of injuries, even though I've seen some people take a spill down those stairs trying to run out with their kids as that fire was billowing when we arrived on scene here. But again, May Avenue is still open. There's one lane open going southbound, but May Avenue is still open. It looks like we got an ambulance pulling up now, an IMSA unit. I don't have any reports of injuries, but we do have an IMSA unit arriving on scene here. But again, this is playing out around Northwest 31st and May. Like you said, Robin, you want to be very careful as you get around here and let these firefighters in and out safely here as they work on this apartment fire. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
All right, Jim, let's just hang with your shot for just a moment there. The Advanced Auto Parts is right there kind of on the corner of May Avenue, and this is just kind of right behind there. But this scene playing out, EMSA on the scene. Our reporter on the ground is arriving. We're getting more information. We'll continue following this as you watch Oklahoma City fire on top of this apartment. Looks like a second-story unit caught fire. Several people rushing out for their lives. At this point, we do not know who has been injured, if anyone, but EMSA has arrived.
Possible smoke inhalation. They are going to make sure that they send all the EMSA crews there to check folks out. It's unbelievable what these firefighters are doing so close to the edge, venting that fire, and every time they make another part of it fall off, we're just thinking, oh gosh, be careful. They are just incredible. We appreciate those Oklahoma City firefighters.
Let's get over to David Payne. David, boy, the elements really not helping things for sure.
No, can you imagine? I mean, walking out of your house, it's on fire, and it's, 15 degrees, 17 degrees, wind chill's just above zero, and I mean, it's pretty scary what's going on there. Hopefully they'll get that out, and it won't spread to any other units. And Jim Gardner's up top. We have crews on the ground covering that. Looking out across the city, it's all about location. North Metro, West Metro, worse. At least more sleet fell there. As you move farther south, areas not seeing as much. Okay, let's go to Jeremy and bring in Jeremy Carter here and get an update. And that is covered in sleet in the Norman area. So, folks, you have pockets where you're sleet covered. You drive 2 miles down the road. Go ahead.
Drive, or Tecumseh Road, and I'm approaching Interstate Drive here on I-35, and you can see that we've got water on the windshield and sleet-covered roads. These roads are really slick, and it continues to worsen in this area. David, back to you.
Like that. Covered in sleet, right? Roadways, they're not good. Are they passable? Absolutely. Can you get out and drive? Absolutely. Okay, let's come back farther north now and get an update from Brandon Pennell and bring up Brandon. Look at that shot. See, completely different, right? Same morning, same time. Here's the deal, though. We've had pockets of sleet, some of it heavier than others. Brandon, give us an update And what's your location? What's your exact location as well there, Brandon?
Okay, David. So we are on I-35 in Norman, basically at Tecumseh Road, exit Highway 9, Lindsay area. And as Val was saying earlier, you know, the road conditions are super variable because about 2 miles back to my north, I-35 was completely sleet covered because of a convective band that had moved through about 10 minutes ago. And then as the sleet is just now starting to pick back up, and it's mixed with a little bit of freezing rain as we head south at this next cell that's going to come up between Riverwind and Noble area. So I-35, even though it looks clear right here, there is a little thin sheet of ice. So you get up to 45, 50, 55 miles an hour and then have to pump your brakes or brake too hard, you're going to slide a little bit. You can get around, but as this next convective band comes up, like I'm saying, this I-35 in probably 10 minutes will be completely white. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it doesn't take long. You're absolutely right, Brandon. This sleet moves in and boom, you get a quarter, half an inch of sleet. Everything is sleet covered in a matter of minutes. Okay, let's go to links 2. And first of all, temperatures in the teens, single digits in the northwest and the panhandle, wind chills just above 0. Road conditions look like this, where everything started in the southwest. We're not completely sleet covered, but there's enough in the pink going to the purple zone here that you're going to have some travel problems this morning. Are we shut down? No. Can you travel? Yes, but we've had some freezing rain. We've had sleet mixed in. You've had a little bit of everything. And notice how we have pockets, right? This is convective. It's not a big shield of sleet. We've had pockets of heavy sleet, and that's what's been moving across the metro. Now, the first wave that came through this morning between 7 and 8 a.m., that is now running from Tulsa back down to and west of Henrietta. This is that first wave, and then it gets lighter after that, but it's still nonetheless going on with lightning from time to time, thunderstorm there producing some small hail and sleet. I know, welcome to Oklahoma, and then down south in the Norman area, Noble, so you can easily see why we would have areas that have a little bit of sleet to areas that have a lot of sleet. And across the metro, one wave's moving out, heavier sleet now just west of New Walla. And this is going to go on for the rest of the morning. It's just going to be spotty. It's going to be off and on down south, Chickasha. Here comes the next wave. That'll come into Oklahoma City out of Anadarko and Chickasha, and then down south, more sleet going on there. So again, it's hit and miss. It's off and on. It's scattered. This is where the sleet's fallen today. And again, it's not everywhere. That's why you see these little bands. Guthrie's had nearly nil, almost nothing. And then you have little pockets where you've had heavier sleet. So I tell you what, Lace, it's been a location. It's about where you are and what's going on with exactly when those pockets came in, and it's not over with yet.
It changed so quickly from dry to just completely sleet covered. And oh, by the way, some hail to boot. Andrew Adams will show you some of those hail pictures coming up in just a minute. A wild morning. Waves of freezing rain continuing right now. Also getting some light snow. Wintry mix between now and noon. Off and on. It's patchy. Still slick spots. Some areas sleet covered. This afternoon, the precip moves to the east. And then wave number 2. Yes, another round of this tomorrow morning. So let's get to it. It's 17 degrees currently. Winds out of the north, 15, 25, gusting at times close to 25 or 30. So it feels like the single digits. Wind chill 0 and even 5 below in western Oklahoma. Brutally cold. Your hour-by-hour forecast. Precip tapers off, becomes very spotty into the afternoon, and the wind chill maxes at around 10 degrees. So here comes wave number 1. It's here. It's pushing to the east. By the way, southeastern Oklahoma, you will fill in with freezing rain and sleet into the afternoon and evening. We dry it out late this evening and most of the overnight. Then here 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, wave number 2 moving up from the southwest. It moves through, does about the same thing. At times, sleet, freezing rain, and a little light snow. It moves out, and we're dry for your Tuesday afternoon and evening. May see another round late Wednesday night into Thursday, the way it looks, and we'll be below freezing then as well. So later today, still the chance, especially to the south, that your roads become worse for a while. Temperatures this afternoon, teens and 20s. So how much ice? It's not a major ice storm. That's the good thing. Across much of central Oklahoma, it's a glaze of ice and sleet where we could still have more freezing rain is southeastern Oklahoma. That's with the wave today and tomorrow morning. So if we're going to have power outages due to freezing rain, mainly southeastern Oklahoma, hopefully not. May have some tree damage there as well. For us, it's more of the sleet in some areas up in the Tulsa area, Stroud, Muskogee, 1 to maybe even as high as 2 inches of sleet. Not a lot of snow, some flurries, some light snow at times, and then this thing winds on down. Wednesday, we finally get above freezing. Another round possible Wednesday night into Thursday, and then here come the 50s. It all melts. We warm it back up, and Arctic air is gone this weekend. Andrew, you've been getting a lot of pictures. Over to you.
Yeah, Lacey, tons of pictures, and David was talking about the banding where you go from nothing on the roads to something on the roads, and here's a great example I found on Twitter where about half-mile difference between these two shots. First one, roads nice and dry, traffic easy. Next one, standstill, completely covered in the ice, the sleet, and some snow. We've also had, of course, some hail reports come out of some of these storms that have produced lightning. They've had enough juice for that. There's a nice little hailstone from Northwest 50th and Penn, sent in earlier from Nate Billings, and even more hail. These ones a lot smaller stones, but a ton of them, enough that if you really wanted to try, you could probably build a little snowman out of that. But this has been ongoing for a while. Hopefully we can get a little break here coming up, but we're going to continue our coverage coming up in just a few minutes for y'all.
2021's winter storm racked up a $4.7 billion bill, and you're paying for it.
The customers are on the hook for all of it.
Your cost higher than any other state.
As far as the price, we were just happy that we had the gas and we could keep the lights on.
But why are we paying so much more?
I will say there are circumstances of public corruption.
A special joint investigation with Oklahoma Watch. Wednesday night at 10 on Oklahoma's own News 9.
At Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic, it's time to slim down and tone up with our new high-intensity treatment. Instant skin tightening and fat removal. Most clients only need one treatment.
Skip that surgical tummy tuck and call Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic today.
At Quail Creek Bank, we care about our customers, and we're listening. We'll continue focusing on services that give you safe and direct access to your money from anywhere life takes you. We understand you value a personal relationship, and we're here to answer questions or help resolve problems. Great technology coupled with outstanding customer service. Come experience the difference at Quail Creek Bank.
Imagine walking into your beautiful new Champion sunroom. Create the oasis you've always wanted. Your favorite room in the house. All year round. To share with friends and family. Now's the best time to start. With 30% off all sunrooms and interest rates as low as 7.99%. Call to schedule your free in-home estimate or go to championsunrooms.com to see more. If you're struggling to lose weight, here's a proven medical solution, and it works fast. It's called RM3 from Red Mountain Weight Loss. RM3 attacks unhealthy fat, helping you lose up to 20 pounds a month. This patented medication is available only by prescription, and you can only get it from Red Mountain Weight Loss. Schedule your video appointment today.
I have lost 137 pounds, and I've kept it off for 6 years. Now I work here at Red Mountain, and I spend every day helping people just like me. That's how I got back to the real me with RM3.
To break free. I want to break free.
Hi, we're Cox Mobile, a new kind of mobile company that sees you for you, with plans that fit you based on the data you need, no matter who you are. Because we know the one thing you're not is everyone else. Cox Mobile. We're different because you're different.
How much do you think Charles had to pay before Parrish Devon won him $150,000?
Nothing. At Parrish Devon, you get our no-fee guarantee. If we don't win, you don't pay.
Catch breaking news and weather coverage anywhere you go. News 9 has you covered. News 9 streaming is powered by EnviroDispose. Let them roll.
We've got huge material rebates, and we're not keeping them for ourselves. We're passing them on to you. Click or call now.
At Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic, it's time to slim down and tone up with our new high-intensity treatment. Instant skin tightening and fat removal. Most clients only need one treatment.
Skip that surgical tummy tuck and call Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic today.
Back out on that breaking news, we're on the scene of an apartment fire in northwest Oklahoma City.
Let's get out to Jim Gardner and Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Jim, it looks like they've got this thing under control.
Yeah, Lacey, right now they're in cleanup stages. They did a great job just containing this to one. It looks like the upper floor unit there. But I'm telling you, man, Oklahoma City firefighters being up on top of that roof, going through the flames, cutting holes in that roof and trying to vent it while the flames are just up all around and basically in them. They were standing in them, man. They're one time just cutting holes there. You got to take your hats off to them, man. But right now we're trying to find out. Scene and had heavy flames. People were coming down those metal stairs and falling, and they were carrying little kids in their arms and stuff. And man, I tell you what, it looked like a bad scene there for a little bit. But good thing to say is Oklahoma City firefighters did a great job. They got it under control. They're just in the cleanup stages here. Now this apartment building sits at Northwest 31st and May. May is still open, one lane going southbound. But a great job. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim, unbelievable work there, and we are asking whether anyone was injured or had possible smoke inhalation due to this fire as those families scrambled down the stairs to safety. As soon as we get those details, we'll bring them to you.
And we don't know what started the fire. We will watch that investigation as well. As we follow that breaking news, just getting word that UCO and Edmond will be closing at 9:30, so here in just the next 5 minutes or so. Also, Meals on Wheel in Yukon, Norman, Oklahoma City, and Edmond are also closed today, as well as the First Americans Museum. The closings are at the bottom of your screen. Also, we do know buses have been running late in Putnam City this morning as well.
Putnam City School District saying they will be very lenient on those bus tardiness issues because of those shortage of bus drivers, folks calling in sick, and just kind of the slow travel because of this winter weather that has moved into central Oklahoma. We are going to take a break, regroup. We'll be back right after this.
What Caught My Eye is brought to you by West Yala Gosney, attorneys at law. Call Will and Rob.
There was a young driver and he hit me head on. And my own insurance company is trying to take advantage of the situation. I got in touch with Will. He met with me, at my convenience.
In her case, it was to make sure her insurance company was doing what they were supposed to do. Let us do as much of the hard work as we possibly can. So you just got to worry about you. You take care of yourself, take care of your family, get yourself back to work, and we do the rest.
I would describe Will as honest, fair, and loyal.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 31st.
For more than 50 years, Skyline Urban Ministry has been meeting the needs of the city's most vulnerable population.
Skyline's primary service is to serve as a food resource center. Skyline also has an eye clinic. We give free eye exams with volunteer doctors.
The busiest program at Skyline is the Food Resource Center, and much of the food donated to them comes from the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma.
It's a big variety. This is stuff that you really need, and I really appreciate it.
In 1992, Skyline established a charitable organization endowment at the Oklahoma City Community Foundation.
Giving to endowment is a great way to provide for the future of an organization. They can pick up that check and count on it every single year.
If you have a desire to make a difference in your community, the Oklahoma City Community Foundation can help you make it happen.
We at Skyline like to use our funds to help subsidize some of our employee costs and to save for the future.
Not everyone starts their day at the same time or in the same way. But no matter when or how, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative is there to help you power every moment of it in countless ways. Because whenever it starts, one thing is certain: we never stop.
Visit membersfirst.coop today. A message from Oklahoma's electric cooperatives.
Can you feel the luck? Your chance to win a Mini is now, only at Lucky Star Casino. That's right, Lucky Star Casino is giving away 2022 Mini Coopers at all locations. Giveaways are Tuesday, February 14th at 9 p.m. Don't miss out on your chance to earn 5 times entries on Friday. Head to any of our 6 Oklahoma locations. Lucky Star Casino. The biggest jackpots are closer than you think.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get energized with tons of equipment. Simply join through the free PF app. Deal ends January 31st.
This is Oklahoma's own News 9.
Welcome back. It is 9:30, everyone. Thanks for staying with us as we are in extended coverage. What a way to start a work week, huh?
Oh, man, we've had some travel issues. We just wrapped up an apartment fire on the northwest side of the city. It's a lot. Let's get over to David Payne. He's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. He's also a lot, folks.
I'm what? I'm sorry?
You're a lot.
I self-medicate. Thanks for asking. Can you tell? Hey, Jen and Lacey, great job this morning. Lacey's still here. We have Andrew here. Hannah's here. We've got Cassie just rolled in here a little bit ago. So everybody's in this morning doing what we do. And here we go, looking out across parts of the city. Depends on where you are. If you've had sleet overhead, your roadways or your sidewalk or your driveway in front of you is probably sleet covered. Other areas, not so much. Let's go to Brandon Pennell. He's been in the Norman area where we've had pockets of sleet off and on. Go ahead, Brandon. Give us an update. What's going on down south?
Yeah, David, that's right. South of Norman. And literally 2 miles back, we were in a convective band, and I-35 was completely white and sleet covered. So it just shows you the difference in mile by mile. You know, as you're headed south on 35 right now, the interstate looks clear, and then all of a sudden you're going to change to completely sleet-packed and slick within a matter of 1 foot. It's like literally spring in a thunderstorm, but ice is falling out of the sky, and it's 19 degrees. Back to you.
For sure. And again, it's about the convective nature of the sleet. It's been light. Other areas, it's been heavy. Let's go southwest into Grady County. Let's check in with Marty Logan. He's in Chickasha near Verton. And Marty, give us an update. Looks white down there. Lots of sleet, it looks like. It's falling there this morning.
Yeah, I'm in Chickasha where the roads are sleet covered, getting heavy sleet right now, 19 degrees. And just like you guys up there, you run through some of the highway on Highway 9 where there is nothing there, and then all of a sudden, boom, you go to sleet covered. Also, I've been receiving some freezing rain off and on, so roads are slick down here in spots also. Back to you.
Not good. Freezing rain's a nightmare. Freezing rain is rain, falls as a liquid, glazes everything up. That's the worst deal, number one. Number two, which is not as bad as freezing rain, is sleet because it lands. It falls as a little ball of ice, and here's the deal. You get traction for a while, then that compacts down, and then you end up with some travel problems. So none of it's good, but you'd rather have a little sleet than freezing rain, that's for sure. Okay, let's go to Links 2, 17 in Oklahoma City. You really don't get any melting going on until you get back to the 20s. We will slowly climb back up there later today, but right now there is no melting. Road conditions, we're calling it snow or sleet covered, running from southwestern into central into northeastern Oklahoma. Not everybody in here is covered up with that heavy, again, sleet on the roadways, that heavy batch of sleet, but we have definitely more pockets than not. It all began this morning, took off about 7 o'clock in southwestern Oklahoma, came ripping through the metro with thunder, sleet. We had storms producing not only sleet, but hail, and fairly big hail. Now that big wave now is east of Oklahoma City, riding up the turnpike. If you have any travel plans up I-44 to Tulsa or I-40 eastbound to Henrietta, you can do it, but you got to go slow, okay? Because there are pockets where we've had that ice, and then on top of that, we've had some sleet. Heaviest now is running from Stroud down to Prague, down to west of Seminole. This is very heavy sleet in here. And then we're now getting a break in Oklahoma City. Still some sleet going on in the Norman area, in Blanchard, back to Amber, and across the city here. That's kind of clearing out. A few little pockets of some sleet hanging on. We have a few flakes of snow falling, but this is the big show now. It is east of Oklahoma City, Chandler, Stroud, Welty, Okemah, and it's headed off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. More sleet going on down near Marty is, Anadarko, and that'll come into the south metro, more Norman, and down south. This is going to be a long afternoon, a long morning, a long afternoon for southern Oklahoma as your sleet and freezing rain is just now beginning to ramp up down here. So get ready, Purcell, Pauls Valley, Wynnewood. It's coming your way, and you can see where the sleet has accumulated, but notice the holes in here. We have little pockets where not much has fallen. That's why roads are okay here. They're bad in Edmond, and then you get a little spot down here where they get a little bit better. So Lacey, it's a hit and miss kind of a deal. It's not over with yet. And boy, Southern Oklahoma today, they're under the gun now for sure.
Yes, that's where it is headed over the next several hours. And of course, trackers are staying out. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here through the day, keeping you updated as this next wave makes its way on in. For Oklahoma City, right now, we do still have some pockets of freezing rain, sleet, and light snow. Now through noon, just patchy, wintry mix, some slick spots, roadways that are sleet covered. They're really not going to get much better unless crews come through and plow that area. Precip moves to the east. It clears out in the metro. Still some slick spots. And the second round, that's on the way. It arrives tomorrow morning. So our Lucky Star Skycam network live from downtown. It's 17 degrees. You got to factor this in, 10 to 20 to 25 mile an hour wind. It's -1 in Mustang, factoring in the wind chill. 5 in Guthrie, 6 in Shawnee. Dangerous wind chills across western Oklahoma where it's 5 to 10 degrees below. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures will only warm into the low 20s. Maximum wind chill about 10 degrees. And see how the precip is really tapering off. Those chances become pretty spotty into the afternoon. As David said, the main wave makes its way to the east and to the southeast, and we may have some patches of freezing rain and sleet into the afternoon, but I do believe most locations start to dry it out with the exception of the southeast. Tonight, we're quiet. Here comes wave number 2. Southwestern Oklahoma tomorrow morning makes its way up towards the metro mid-morning around 6 to 8 to 9 o'clock, and that makes its way up to the northeast. That round moves out tomorrow afternoon, and we dry it back out with wave number 2. So now roadways are starting to dry out in some areas, at least as far as the precip falling. I think it gets worse down to the south and southeast. Temperatures this afternoon, look at our warm up. There's really not one. So when you add up the wave today and the wave tomorrow, we've seen major crippling ice storms across Oklahoma. This isn't one of those, but I do believe to the southeast, that's where we could see 1/4 of an inch to maybe 1/2 of an inch of freezing rain. It's a mixed bag here in the metro. So as far as power outages, power bumps, that's mainly limited to the southeast. I think it's more of the sleet that we're picking up in the metro. Between now and tomorrow, some areas 1/10 of an inch up to 1/2 of an inch of sleet with maybe an inch plus in the northeast. And it's not a major snowstorm, but we are getting some light snow mixing in at times. Tomorrow morning, we'll be tracking pretty much the same scenario. Temperature tomorrow afternoon of 25. We finally get above freezing, guys, on Wednesday, and there comes that third wave Wednesday night, mainly I-40 south. And we'll have more on that in just a minute.
Lacey, thank you. We are in communications with the major school districts here in the metro. Want to pass along this just in from Edmond Public Schools. EPS is actually canceling all evening activities. This is not involving classes. So all evening activities canceled, and the police spokesperson for the district says all secondary practices and rehearsals will conclude by the end of 7th hour. That could change as we move forward, but as of 9:30, that's the latest. And then from OKCPS, also canceling all afternoon and evening activities. So activities only for EPS and OKCPS canceled today.
And don't forget those closings, cancellations. We're getting more in as the day progresses. They're at the bottom of your screen. Let's see how we're doing on the roadways down in the Norman area. Our Addie Crawford has been out since early this morning. Boy, it looks like you're running into another little mess there. Where are you, Addie?
Hi, Robin and Lacey. We're on West Robinson Street. We have the University Town Center on 24th Avenue over to our right. We saw some snow plows out here earlier taking care of the roads, which further down behind us was very clear. But now as we approach this intersection, you can see that the roads are pretty much covered in sleet. The main roads, however, are pretty safe, I guess you could say. But the side roads, we were by the Max Westheimer Airport, and they were slippery. We were in the Heyday parking lot off Norman, near Norman and Moore, and man, we were sliding all over the place. So if you're heading down the highway, you could just go slow. It seems pretty safe, but when you're going down these side roads, man, just really be careful out there. We're going to be heading out here all morning and tracking the road conditions in Norman. Addie Crawford, Oklahoma's own News 9.
All right, good job, Addie, keeping everyone safe down there in the Norman area, updating on the conditions. It's just kind of weird how you go in one part of Norman, roads aren't that bad, then you go to another area and this is what you get. So just, it can change quickly. You have to be very careful.
Let's get over to meteorologist Hannah Scholl. She's watching the roads. Hey, Hannah.
Hey, guys. Yeah, so heading northbound on I-44 right at the Amarillo Junction, we do have an accident reported there. This is just an ODOT cam right here, I-235 at 23rd. Everything is moving fine, but you can see sleet-covered roadways there. Let's take a look now at our Mathis home cam on Max. There you go. So we have emergency crews on scene. We got a wrecker. We got a couple cars involved as well. OHP on scene there and a fire truck as well. Only one lane getting by. This is right south of the Amarillo Junction, so a really heavily trafficked area. This backup started just a little bit ago. Looks like one of the cars actually slid off and moved and ended up hitting the barrier there as well. So that's something to be aware of heading out the door. This area really slick and hazardous. You got all those bridges there. You got the sleet covered roadways and the ice as well. This backup just popped up and it's already back quite a bit there, almost now to Southwest 22nd Street. But through the rest of the metro, really, you're still pretty good as far as accidents go on major highways. But just in the past 10-15 minutes, we continually, every time I refresh, I see another accident that has been reported. So roadways are still definitely slick and hazardous out there. Guys, back to you.
All right, Hannah Scholl, thanks so much. David Payne, Lacey Swope, tell us how long the freezing rain will last. The latest from the Bob Mills Weather Center on your Monday morning. Keep it here.
The 9 a.m. Business Report was brought to you by Chapelwood Financial Services, investment advisors to millionaires. At Chapelwood Financial Services, we know what it takes to become and remain a millionaire. You want to flourish in retirement, to provide for your family, and to leave an amazing legacy. When you qualify to join the Chapelwood family of millionaires, you'll enjoy the premier service and experience of a personal wealth concierge. Discover your future today. Chapelwood Financial Services, investment advisors to millionaires.
Don't be powerless. Severe weather can leave you in the dark or worse. See the light. Contact Oklahoma Generator. Power to protect your family, your business, your life. Be ready. Oklahoma Generator, your certified premier Generac dealer. OKGen.com. Power to the people.
If neuropathy pain has derailed your life, Nerve Renewal Neuropathy Clinic can get your life back on track. Our treatment is FDA cleared, no prescription, and non-narcotic. We treat the nerves directly, healing the source to relieve the pain. We are Medicare and VA approved and accept all private insurance. Visit nerverenewalnow.com to learn more about mobility renewal, freedom renewal, hope renewal, nerve renewal.
Will you pause it real quick? Just sold the car to Carvana. What? All I had to do was answer a couple of questions and got a real offer in seconds. Then they just picked up the car and paid me right on the spot.
Sell your car at Carvana.com today.
Trust me when I say, not all plumbers are the same. This is why thousands of Oklahoma homeowners choose Pipe Doctors for their plumbing needs. If you ever need a plumber, please don't call a quack. Call Pipe Doctors, 412-7800.
Hi, I'm Dr. Luke, and today we are all trying to live our best lives. Now here at 43 Vision, we help you do that by eliminating the frustrations of readers and bifocals. So, having lens replacement is not simply about correcting your vision, it's about improving your lifestyle. Come see us at 43 Vision, where you can be glasses free after 43.
Enjoy freedom from readers and bifocals at 43 Vision, where patients are glasses free after 43. Call 883-4343 or visit 43vision.com.
You have a home generator, so you're ready. Or are you? Regular service is crucial. Oklahoma Generator's certified Generac technicians are ready to make sure you're ready. Service, repair, installation. OKGen.com. Power to the people.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, David Payne.
The hot mess of sleet continues out there, at least off and on. Now, the heaviest of this is going to be now shifting into eastern Oklahoma and down across southern Oklahoma. The heavy sleet we had here in Oklahoma City, it's still with us, at least in pockets, but it is winding down. Largest team of trackers are out covering this. They've been out again since about 4 a.m. And again, we're still out here. We'll be out here all morning into the afternoon, even into this evening. But skies are beginning to lift just a bit, but the damage is done where the sleet has fallen. Can you travel? Absolutely. Are we shut down? Absolutely not. All right, so that's good. You can get out and about, but we've had accidents. We've just had a few in the last hour or so, people just driving too fast, simply put. That's what it's all about. Okay, let's go to Brandon there, get an update from Brandon Pennell. And Brandon, again, you drive 1 mile one way, you turn around, drive another mile another way, and you go from sleet to no sleet. Give us an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. It's pretty incredible, actually, because literally it's even less than mile to mile. It's at times it's block to block. You know, as you can see in my shot right here, you know, these side roads in Norman are completely sleet covered, and then you drive literally 2 blocks over, and there might not be any sleet at all, hardly, just because the convective band it didn't go over that area. So it's super hit and miss, but in the areas that it has hit, it is pretty slick. Back to you.
All right, great job, Brandon. Again, down in the Norman area. Let's go to Jim Gardner. He's up top, and let's get an update. I think this accident's on I-44, and let's bring Jim Gardner in and control room. I'll wait on his shot to be brought up. Jim Gardner, you are live. We have your shot. Tell us what's going on. Do we have Jim? His shot looks good. I know he's alive. Looking good, but obviously somebody has hit the right side of the bridge. 3 cars involved.
Can you hear me, David?
Go ahead, Jim. It's all you. Take it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're having problems off and on this morning, along with everything else. But, yeah, this is the accident that Hannah was talking about earlier, I believe. They got the records here. It looks like 2 or 3 cars maybe got tangled up. OHP's on the scene. But, David, as you know, this is 44 coming northbound there and coming up to Amarillo Junction here. And as we pan up, we will show you traffic here and stuff. And it's got traffic backed up quite a ways here, David, as I got this down to 1 lane coming up to this wreck here. But we'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Scott News 9. Back to you.
Okay, northbound I-44. Parking lot, not quite, but close. It's moving, but it's slowly moving, not very fast. Great shot there from Jim. Okay, temperatures in the teens. We have single digits out in the Panhandle. 6 now, 6 above 0 in Guyman. Road conditions, slick spots in the blue, in the purple. More sleet-covered roads in here. Okay, let's talk about where this all began. About 7 o'clock this morning, took off big time in southwestern Oklahoma. It's been racing northeast. This has been about 95% sleet with some ice or freezing rain mixed in, which isn't good. Sleet's a little bit better, but still, this put down just a white sheet of sleet all across the metro. That big wave now is east of I-35. We're getting a nice break in Oklahoma City. A little more sleet will come out of Chickasha and Tuttle, and that'll come back into more Norman in the South Metro. We're getting convective sleet. We're getting, again, lightning and thunder. You might even have some hail mixed in with the sleet, especially with this activity near Stroud and Prague and Welty and Okemah and Cromwell and Little and Seminole. This is more convective. You see the lightning strikes. They're showing up. Pretty cool stuff. It's warm, several thousand feet up. But here in Oklahoma City now, it's now ended. A little bit of some light snow hanging around. You might have a few pockets of sleet in there, but right now, Oklahoma City, we're doing okay. But the roads are still, many of them, sleet covered. Stroud, Prague, Little, Seminole, sleet going on. And down near Tuttle and Anadarko, sleet there. Again, what's going to be lifting northeast. And look what's going on down south. The sleet continues to really enhance down across southern Oklahoma. And this is where the sleet's fallen, right? And we have pockets of no sleet to no sleet to sleet. So that's why you can go from mile to mile and have white, sleet-covered roads to not much at all. Look at the big wave now coming out of Texas. That's going to heavily impact you folks in Pauls Valley, Sulphur, and Ardmore from this morning into the afternoon. Here comes the next big wave, Lace, and it is not over, especially down south.
Oh, yeah, just beginning for folks in south central and southeastern Oklahoma. We've been tracking it across central portions of the state through the morning. Let's go now and take a closer look here at how long we've been below freezing, why all this is just sticking on contact. We dipped down below 32 in Oklahoma City at about 1 o'clock Saturday or Sunday morning, and we will be below freezing until about 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. That's about 85 hours. So that's pipe bursting temperatures. Make sure you are dripping your faucets or letting the stream at least run about the size of your pinky or a pencil tip if that's on a north-facing wall. That's for sure, because we're staying below 32. As far as precip goes, getting some patchy freezing rain and sleet still now through noon. That continues. Still slick spots on the roadways, in some areas sleet covered. This afternoon, most of the precip moves south and east. Still some slick spots in the metro, and then wave number 2 moves in tonight and tomorrow. So later today, I do think this spreads further into south and southeastern Oklahoma. We don't have much of a warm up, by the way. It's 17 degrees. North winds making it feel so much colder. Feels like -1 in Mustang, 7 degrees in Chandler, 4 in Guthrie, 5 to 10 degrees below 0 in western Oklahoma. It's brutal, and we warm up to 22. Maximum wind chill later today, about 10 degrees. And this is wave number 1. Again, still filling in down to the south and southeast, winding down in central Oklahoma. We're dry for most of the area. Over overnight tonight. And then here comes round number 2 tomorrow. And I think it'll be light. I don't think it'll be quite as heavy as what we had this morning, but still could lay down a blanket of sleet and freezing rain. Afternoon temperatures in the 20s today. A glaze of ice is possible, anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch in the southeast. And if we see power bumps, that's where that would be located. Sleet totals with both waves up to 1/2 of an inch. Some areas near Tulsa, an inch of sleet. And as far as snow, it's not a major snowstorm. Some flurries, some light snow at times. By the time we get through Thursday morning, we dry it out. 40s on the way, and then there are 50s into the weekend, looking a whole lot better after this Arctic air moves out. Andrew, I know you got more pictures. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to keep showing this one because it illustrates the picture perfectly for the hit or miss nature of this event. You go on Lake Hefner Parkway. This was sent in, and this is about a half-mile difference. Nothing on the road to complete coverage on the road. Slick spots with the ice, with the sleet that we've been seeing. This is from Norman, Boyd, and Flood intersection, completely covered. Certainly slick out there. A video from Highway 66 and the Kilpatrick Turnpike sent in, completely covered in that shot. And this was sent in earlier, so there's still stuff falling from the sky at that point. So driving conditions have been pretty bad for some folks earlier on today. Of course, most of the metro is starting to see a little bit of a drying trend, which is nice. But we'll be back with more updates for you coming up in just a minute.
News 9 anchor Carl Torp.
Carl's an award-winning journalist who wants to keep you safe and informed.
A working parent.
And an Oklahoman by choice.
Watch Carl Torp weeknights at 4, 6, and 10. Only on Oklahoma's own News 9.
My daughter is addicted to social media.
His teenage son shot him and then killed his mother because they took away the violent video game Daniel was addicted to. New Dr. Phil.
At Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic, it's time to slim down and tone up with our new high-intensity treatment. Instant skin tightening and fat removal. Most clients only need one treatment.
Skip that surgical tummy tuck and call Petra's Massage Therapy and Weight Loss Clinic today.
Celebrate the new year with huge savings and get up to $2,023 cash back on a custom designed to build 4-season sunroom.